Welcome to TradeTheMBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 20th of February. Well, with a little bit of the breakdown, we saw the continuation take place on Friday, though right at support at 61% there. Significant buyback. Um, Clean DOC spread and everything, so it was just some people saw that as attractive, but not a whole lot in the reading suggested. Maybe there just wasn't enough short strength to really just drive it, or still a lot of indecision as to whether or not it's a buy or sell configuration at this particular stage. Right now, in our view, it's definitely a sell configuration. So we don't have any question about that, but it's holding up nicely. And that may just be the last gasp sort of effect that sometimes you see from an NQ standpoint below that key 12.4 support. And that was the breakdown from there. Still cyan under red, 5 to 385, excuse me, and for the first time now we have cyan over green, so that is a negative, not to mention the steel moving to negative 13.5. However, it doesn't take much to put that back above negative 13.5. And again, the NASDAQ will be the, well, I don't want to say savior of the S&P, but it certainly has been the strength that has provided enough support to really keep things moving. Wait for TS to catch up to where we're headed here. That went back up. Let's see. So from an oil standpoint, you can see a little bit more of a negative impact. 76 still right in the middle zone. Shorts collapsing on that one, so may not be a whole lot left from that. It was a strong DOC spread. Should have a little bit more depth to the sellout. So we'll see if we get a dip below the red line, because if it recaptures that low on the improved extreme as well as shakeout, then could be another rally in oil coming. TLT, little bounce back here off of looking for security as rates continue to climb. Value of this should continue to drop. Still relatively way too high. I don't know why we have that so spread out. We can increase the size of those. There we go. There was the oil setup. For some reason, it's taking TS a little bit longer to clear the charts. Gold still struggling through there. We see the first indications of a turnaround though, with the magenta overtaking white, and you can see that we had this enormous buy from China and other central governments. So the fact that it's even retraced these positive extremes coming back through just cleans them out of the way and makes it clear sailing, so to speak, if there's going to be any continued thrust towards the idea of inflation. We may not have seen the last of the inflation as much as people have been talking about deflation. We haven't seen the collapse that everyone thought was so imminent in the economy. And as I pointed out at the beginning, middle part of last year, and that this was going to be fits and spurts of different areas suffering disproportionately to other parts. And it's really proven to be that kind of a case. From the Eurozone, still holding below the 107, caught some good support off the weakness in the market. And again, there's been no change in the Eurozone. Things are just as bad as they were. And from an ETH, Bitcoin, that saw a nice little bounce, pushing out to highs for the, well, since early part of February. So that's an improvement there. From a 50K standpoint, we had nothing but negative, and then we built out and we started to see the magenta from the basing all the way solid across. We had the dip of the orange, and that was enough to push back towards the 23. Of course, it stayed red until it got above the 23, but that particular point, I think anytime you're at the base there and those configurations come in, there's nothing wrong with taking that and running. But it was a nice build. And from a 5K standpoint, the day started on a continuation of that selling from the previous Thursday, and sort of based a little bit, but kept making breaks towards the new lows. And so there's some pretty clean readings with those DOCs. But as things moved along, middle of the day, we started getting these strong buy pushes. Yeah, they faded back, but the final one coming right over here where orange dip, green started moving forward. We had a very shallow move on that dip with the shakeout, which was much better. So higher shakeout, slightly improved price, and that was enough to just continue to build the storm. And that just pushed us right back up to that 40.80 algo level, and then we just came right back to it and traded across it. So it was pretty even action. But I think this malaise sort of back and forth action, to me, I think it's fantastic from a intraday trade standpoint. It just doesn't look like much is happening from the daily, but there are clearly some concerns that are starting to become a little bit more broad based as the question about sustainability of earnings. You see tech continuing to lay off to get rid of some of the excess because obviously they're going to be concerned about presenting the best bottom line possible. And we'll see if that continues or if it's just a temporary thing to, weed out some of the excess and get back to lean operations. We'll follow it though. As always, though, look for me in the Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk to you later.